Today we have to talk about something very important that people find hard to talk about, and it's going to make some of you very, very uncomfortable. Now, the question is this: why do so many Christians fail in business? Now, I'm not saying other people are not failing now. Most people fail in business. But why do Christians particularly fail in business? Now, this is not me trying to attack Christianity. I'm a Christian myself. But I want to give insight on things and possible issues that as a Christian, I've seen people go through. And I myself has gone through in my struggles of balancing Christianity and building a business. The first thing, the word that keeps me up at night, metaphorically, is being too spiritual to be strategic. Oh my God. I don't know why, but it's such a common thing in the Christian world where it looks like both cannot exist. Like, if you have to be strategic, you have to sacrifice spirituality. There's this video of Archbishop Benson Dausa. He was preaching about a certain topic, and he started preaching about water. There was a cup of water on the altar, and he was like, in the name of Jesus, this water enter my mouth. And he said it over and over and over. And then he walked up to the water and he drank it. And he said, which one is easier? And everybody paused and looked at him, and clearly he was just walk up and drink the water. And then what he was trying to explain was this: if you can just do it, there is no need to spend time disturbing God about it. A lot of times we go to God to pray about things that it is within our power to do. It does not require a miracle, it just requires strategic sense, right? Strategy, prayer does not replace strategy. You have to have a good business strategy. Good business strategy is not waking up when you open your shop, you pour salt around it. I know you do it. Yeah, you do it. In fact, funny enough, I had someone do it in my office. It was very hilarious. Came to work one day, noticed there was salt all over the office. Then I had seen this multiple times. Then one day he came up. I was talking to my co-founder, and he mentioned that, hey, what's up? Have you noticed all the salt around the office? I'm like, yeah. Like, what's that white stuff everywhere? Turns out the cleaner in the office overheard that we were going through tough times, and she said whenever she enters the office, there's always cobwebs in the office. So you know how cobwebs is bad omen to people, right? And then her decision was to go to her church and get salt to spray around. Now, it was hilarious to me because I'm like, how exactly is this supposed to help with our business? So now that there's salt in our office now, customers will just start calling from left and right. Do you know what made a lot of customers call? Instagram ads. Better targeting, more money on ads, marketing, calling, reaching out, follow up. All the strategy we put in place into getting customers. That brought more customers than pouring olive oil around your shop, pouring salt around your shop, or praying for customers. I'm not saying don't pray for customers. Neither am I saying all these things don't have spiritual effect on you. I don't know what your specific spiritual belief is. This video is not about it. This video is mostly about business. When it comes to business, you have to stay strategic. Strategy will beat spirituality in business every day. And this concerned me a lot about Nigerian Christians, because a lot of church are making bank over this. I remember the church I was attending then, they have this story for every rich person. How did this person become rich? They would put one story about how they did one thing to become rich. There's this common one, I'm sure you probably have heard of this one. How did Dangote become rich? They said there was one day and there was a flight going to maybe Abuja from Lagos, and a very popular man of God, very powerful man of God, needed a seat for his friend on the flight. Hear this story. This is as told to me by my pastor at the time. Then the man of God entered the plane and asked that, is there anybody here that has a friend that wants to take the seat? That is anybody here willing to give up his seat for the friend? And apparently Dangote was in first class, and Dangote gave up his seat for that pastor's friend to sit down there. And that pastor now told Dangote that he's going to be the richest man in Africa. And that's how Dangote became richest man. It sounds like folktale. It literally sounds like, you know how tortoise has crack on his back? It's because one day there was a meeting in heaven and they flew there. Like, if you don't know the answer, say I don't know the answer. Don't make up bullshit story. First off, You know, this story was very interesting then, but when I started flying, I started realizing how much this is not true. So let me guess, you don't have a ticket and they let you enter. Do you know how many checks flights go through when they'll check your ticket? They'll check ticket. Now somebody that has entered and sat down, his ticket number, everything, you say he stood up for so, like, bro, let's be real. That story is it's clearly false, right? But it shouldn't even exist because there was no reason for all that. Dangote is a good businessman for maybe other reason. He has some strategy that works. We can argue all day about his strategy. Some will accuse him of monopoly. Some will say it's the government. That's even a strategy. But I know one of his strategies is not he stood up for plane to let somebody enter. So do not replace spirituality for strategy. Now here's the thing. I'm not saying don't be spiritual. What I always tell people when it comes to business is follow God for God. Don't follow God for money. God, being a relationship with God will help every part of your life. Do not build a relationship with God because of what you want. So people build a relationship with God because they want God to help them in their business. You can watch videos on YouTube that will help you with your business. You don't need God involved in that. Love God for God. Follow God for God. Keep spirituality where spirituality is supposed to be. And then keep strategy where strategy is supposed to be. It's only when it comes to business that I've seen people really conflicted. There's this thing that pisses me off. They don't do it for other professions. Imagine a plumber comes to you, say your pipe is broken, and plumber shows up and is like, this pipe, wow, terrible stuff. And then he brings out olive oil and then start pouring olive oil around your toilet. And then you ask the plumber, why are you pouring olive oil around my toilet? And they're like, you know, this everything are God. We need God involved in this. What would you do? How would you see the plumber? You think he's incompetent, right? That's how you look when you do it in your business. Something that requires strategy and knowledge and skill, you convert it to spiritual stuff. And it's one thing I have issues with people and business. Business is just like plumbing. You can learn it. You can be good at it. It's a skill. Just like plumbing, just like tailoring, just like every other skill you learn, you can learn how to build a business. And you should, especially if you wake up and say you want to be an entrepreneur, you should put most of your effort into learning how to build a business. The number two thing that, whenever I see this, I'm just like, be careful, is taking business advice from your pastor. Now, most people have changed the role of pastor from spiritual counselor to life counselor, because there's this phrase, life is spiritual. I believe that life is actually spiritual. It doesn't mean your pastor knows everything. Life is spiritual does not mean your pastor is now your business consultant and your role model and your mentor for everything. It's very important that while you are in business, you surround yourself with people who are also good in business. Now, if your pastor is a very good businessman, like my pastor, I remember I was talking to him, he was talking about one deal, $5 million, $10 million. He's a businessman, he owns like 3-4 business. I could take his advice on business because he's good in business. So you have to be very careful who you are taking advice from. I'm not saying your pastor is a bad person, but maybe he's not the right person to give you business advice. Maybe he's not the right person to tell you if you should go into that new venture or not. Stop trying to equate the two together. Make sure you get the right advice from the right people. I remember the church I was attending one time. I remember we do this thing they call financial conference, where the pastor comes and talk about money. And then that day he came. It was one particular one. That financial conference, I was very involved in it. In fact, that time I just did one business that made like 200K. I was a student then. I gave the entire thing to church. I also gave my laptop to church, because the preaching then was, if you give all this money to church, your business will succeed and you make a lot of money. And I was like, I'm down. I gave everything to church, no problem. And then after the conference, I started asking some questions. I remember talking to one of my friends and I was like, hey, what's up? I paid for the Uber ride for this pastor to come to preach, and I paid for his Uber ride back. He doesn't have a car. He doesn't own a car. He's in his mid-40s. And he said he has been doing this for the past 20 years. And I was asking my friend, if this works, why hasn't he gotten rich yet? Because they were telling us then that we're young, and in the next 5-6 years, we'll start seeing the result of what the giving we are doing now. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm willing to wait 6 years for my own, but like you've been doing it for 20 years. Where's your own result? And then I remember what my friend said. She said, you are asking dangerous questions. And she said I was rebellious. that this is the thought of the devil. That is the devil that is sowing seed in my head and bringing rebellious thoughts. I understand where she's coming from. But here's the thing. Results speak for itself. Right? When someone does not have certain results, don't take their advice. For instance, a single guy can give you good marriage advice. Right? But who would you rather take advice from? A guy that is single or someone that is married for 20 years? Whose advice would you follow? Right? So there's this template I use. If you don't live the life I want, I'm not going to take your advice. So if you're not good or you're not producing the result I want to see in that area of my life, I'm not going to take your advice, particularly to that area of my life. So one person can have a good family life. I can meet him for advice on family. Another person have a good business life. I meet him for advice for business. Another person is a scholar and has read a lot of books. If I want to be a scholar, I'll go and meet him for advice. So do not conflict and use same people for all your advice. Your pastor might not be the best person to give you business advice, so do not go consulting him for business advice. Some of your pastors are terrible business people, terrible, and they will give you the worst business advice, and your business crumbles, and tomorrow you come back and like, oh my God, God, please help me, God, please. Nah, you did something wrong, and that's why it failed. So understand that there's cause and there's action, and take advice from professionals and people that are good in that aspect of your life to affect your own life. The next one, this one is, oh my God, it's just a lot in the Christian world. Fear. Jesus Christ, fear. I've met a lot of Christians that are so fearful that they can't do anything. And what bothers me about this fear is they are always afraid of spiritual things. Let me give you one story. So sometime in 2023, we're doing one of our projects. It was one of our major projects at the time. I got a call from my co-founder. I was like, hey, what's up? I'm on site. Guess what? They just found Juju on site. And with it, he took a picture of it. He was holding it. He snapped it and sent it to me. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But he told me he was going for a meeting, so I should come and collect it from him. So I went to meet him. I took the Juju from him. He passed it from his hand to my hand. Then I took it somewhere else to go and burn. And then he was telling me that when they found that Juju on site, everybody ran away. All these supposedly religious people that you are probably angry at this video, and you, a Christian, is probably scared and terrified that I held Juju in my hand. And then you say you believe what you believe. Please, why can't you hold it in your hand? If you can explain to me in the comment section why exactly you will see Juju and not hold it in your hand. The only reason I would think maybe it's poison that would be transferred from your palm, but how many poison are like that? Many poison there. Most of the where Juju they do is just bought. So when we open it, I'll put a picture. When we open it, it was kind of weird. It might not even be Juju, to be honest. It just looks like Juju. It might actually be somebody's personal item. But that's a very strange personal item to have. My point is this: there's a lot of fear. And if you want to win in business, you have to have this confidence. I'm going to share more encounters. See, I've had a lot of Juju people encounter. That's just one of many. I remember one, it was when a business, the real estate. See, they say real estate, you have to be strong to do real estate. We're having disputes with this particular woman. Elderly woman. I remember at the time our mentor told us she was part of one's witchcraft society like that. And then she threatened us one day. She was like, yo, you guys, you are young, you're trying me, I'm this, I am that. And she's like, if I am not, she called the name of the group she belongs to, all those spiritual groups, like, it's something like, I won't say Ogboni, but it's not like this one. They wear white. She always wears. She has even come to do display in the property. She wear white and all that people. Remember all these Yoruba movies when you see old women come with white, and you just know that they are about nothing. They have no good. They are just about nothing good. That's how she's like. Think about old woman. She's like 70. Like she's really old. So if an old Yoruba woman threatens you with juju, that is like serious threat. So she threatened us. I remember that time we told her that we don't know if what you are saying is true or not, like if you have the power. But the thing is, if we do wake up tomorrow, we're going to be back at this property. And by God's grace, we woke up. And when we woke up, I remember we went to see each other. Like I ran from my room to his room to check if he woke up. He woke up. We all woke up and we're at the property the next day. My point is this: if you allow fear control you, you won't get anything done. And you cannot, because of fear of spiritual things, not move forward in life. From time to time, that's not the only story. I still have now where they pour oil and pepper and nonsense. No, you kick it away. That's what you do. When you come to your property or your shop or your office, as well, people sacrifice in front, you throw it away. Like, what other option is there? Throw it away. It's not that deep. But no, as I'm saying it now, some of you are like, you need to do 5 days, 10 days fasting, and this and that, and this other thing. Bro, that's the fear I'm talking about. You're so freaking afraid that it's pointless why you're even religious in the first place. Because if you, who you claim to be spiritual than me, can't just throw things like that away, and I can, who is more powerful spiritually, me or you? Think about it. Who is more powerful? You that will cry and do too much, and me that will just kick it away and move on with my life? Sounds like I'm more powerful than you spiritually. I know that will piss you off, but yeah, that's actually it. So please and please, don't let fear control you. Do what you need to do to get things moving. Don't allow this fear of spiritual things cloud your mind so badly that you're not able to get anything done because you're always afraid. Another one you need to avoid very well is mixing calling and business carelessly. There are a lot of churches you join and everybody's acting like they were called to be pastors. I know I've seen a lot of Apostle Joshua Selma talks about this a lot, where there are different calling. It's called body of Christ, right? Some people are eye, some people are mouth, while some are hands and leg. Everybody has his place. But in some churches, everybody's mouth or everybody's eye. In the church I was attending at the time, it was exactly like that. I remember when I first started my first business, it got to a point, business was picking up, everything was going. It was a when I started this same real estate business, I remember my pastor called me one day. I was like, I should close it down, and then I should go for missions. So missions is this thing where you go and preach to gather people. And then I asked him, do I have God's call? He said no. See, I've been in Christian gathering for all my life. Nobody has mistakenly said, Bright, God called you. Not even by mistake, not one person. Which is weird because I'm very involved. Like, I'm the guy carrying canopies in church. Think of that you're over-passionate worker. That is me. Pray, the longest I've prayed is 20 hours in a day. I'll be 18 hours in a day. That's how involved I am with church. And nobody has ever by mistake said, you are called to be a pastor. And then this pastor is telling me I should close down my business to go and preach on the streets and gather people for service. As spiritual as that may sound, that's terrible advice. So stop mixing it. If you are called to be a minister, be a minister. If you're not called to be a minister, leave it. In fact, I like this new modern. There are some churches now where even people are called to minister, they will need to chop, right? So that they don't rely on their members. They actually learn a skill, build businesses, and have careers. It's the best. So you don't have this pressure to milk your members for every penny they have. And the church I was attending there, oh my God, that was their thing. So make sure that you're not carelessly mixing this up. And if you're a business person, you stay in your business lane, you do it well. I'm not saying don't preach to people very well, but know where the line is. So one does not affect the other. So don't mix it up so that you can have a very successful business life and very successful spiritual life. Now the last thing, I will not say much about this, so I'll just say small, but I'm sure you understand, is giving too much. This is when you sow both your seed and your profit and everything. There are some churches that if you go to like this, because everybody is poor in the church, they want to take everything you have. And business does not work that way. Pay your tithe, pay offering, do all those things depending on your spiritual belief. That's your own personal belief. But do not give everything you have. Because why? It will affect your business. Your business needs cash. For business to survive, you need cash. There are some months that will be bad. Some quarters will be terrible. Some years will be hell. What will keep you through those things is prayers, but a lot of cash too. A whole lot of cash. So make sure that you have the right mindset around money. Do not spend your money anyhow. Do not give away all the money you have. Make sure you have rules for your business. That guiding principle to manage your business so that you can have a very successful business and a very successful spiritual life. Now, if you like this video, you enjoy it, or you are really pissed about the video, you want to send to your friend to be pissed too, please share it, comment, and if you have any question or you want to correct me on something, maybe I said something wrong and you think it's right, to be honest, I will humbly apologize in the comment section if you're right. But you can share your thoughts in the comment below. And then if you have a business issue you're going through and you need help with it, comment below. We might make a video about it. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next episode.